Hello, welcome back to Dinner and a Show. I'm Brian.
I'm Tanner.
It's been a while, but
Yeah.
we're glad that you're here, and we're here to watch or to review,
When Harry Met Sally.
which kind of works because it's our first actual film that we watched for 2017, and
Happy New Year.
yeah, Happy New Year for a few several days late, but
This is one of the more definitive New Year movies, even though it...
yeah, New Year's Day, the
portion
movie
of it.
doesn't count.
Yeah.
That's a terrible movie.
It was directed by Rob Reiner, written by Nora Ephron, starring Billy Crystal and Meg Ryan as Harry and Sally.
Yeah, I think there were two. At least for me, there were two reasons why I wanted to watch this film a whole lot. Besides the fact that I've never seen it before, surprise.
I've seen it
Yeah.
quite a few times.
Yeah, one was because it happened to be a New Year's movie,
Technically.
and the other was because the late Carrie Fisher was in this movie as well.
Yeah.
I grew up with her, of course, as Princess Leia. Had great memories. She was revolutionary in making the just having strong female characters. I think a lot of people have said that before. But yeah, she was amazing. I miss her wit. I actually got to meet her in 2015's Dallas Comic Con, and for the 5 seconds that I saw her, she was amazing. And
Awesome.
really friendly, and really was excited to meet everybody. We have dinner. Pizza. Mine is from Come and Go. Big surprise. No, not a sponsor.
Mine is from the Farmers Market Pizza Pro and Deli in Manila, Arkansas. Extra pepperoni and extra sauce. Delicious.
I think mine's a pizza with jalapenos in it. So
Ah.
it is wonderful. I'm waiting for it to cool down.
So when Harry and Sally first meet, it's 1977, and they're on a drive to New York from Chicago. It's a long drive, and they're talking, and they're getting to know each other a little bit. Harry's an optimist. She has her quirks, but she's excited about everything. She's happy about everything, and they get to talking, particularly about platonic relationships between men and women. And Harry has this quote: "Men and women can't become friends." Is it true?
Because the sex gets in the way all the time.
Even like those who aren't as attractive, you pretty much want to nail them too.
Yeah,
Um,
which I find interesting.
as time goes on, they keep meeting each other like every 5 years. It's kind of a weird pattern. Like 5 years later, they meet again. 5 years
Yeah.
later, they meet again. 10 years after they first meet, they both have had relationship troubles. He's getting a divorce. She just got dumped, and they decide to become friends. Harry and Sally become friends, and they're talking about who they're dating. They're talking about like certain principles of dating and so on and so forth. And we start to wonder, are they going to get together? Should they get together, or should they just remain friends?
Yeah.
It's kind of thing you want to think about in reality. I mean, like, can men and women truly become friends? I mean, they start off like being fast friends, but spoiler alert, their relationship doesn't remain platonic for long.
Yeah, I think we could kind of tell that from the beginning.
Yeah.
For me, for reality, it's like, yeah, there are, I have a few friends that are girls.
My roommate's a girl, or a woman, sorry.
Yeah. I think it's possible. Then there's another person. We just kind of both came to the conclusion that we would not, go out. We're totally okay with that. And we're great. We're great friends.
My roommate's a woman, and we're great friends. I also have another woman who's also a great friend. Actually, I met my girlfriend through that person. I think it's true men and women can become friends, even though my girlfriend and I were actually best friends for 10 months before we decided, let's become boyfriend and girlfriend. So
Yeah, that can work out.
it's kind of a fascinating subject to talk about, because I guess it just depends on the man and the woman, really.
And it's really a matter of if you can be mature enough to be friends and
Yeah.
not get sex in the way. I really liked the performances. I thought, as weird as it sounded, Billy Crystal and Meg Ryan,
Oh, great.
they're great together. I mean, the chemistry worked for them.
Absolutely.
Because it did kind of take me a little while to get used to it. Billy Crystal just didn't seem like... Kind of seemed like Adam Sandler going with a girl that was much younger than him. That's kind of how I felt with it. But then just over time, I think the writing was good enough to where just seeing them together worked.
Oh, the writing was fantastic. The dialogue was really quick and sharp.
Oh yeah, and just
My favorite screenplay of
yeah.
Nora Ephron's. My favorite performance of Billy Crystal is actually, I thought he was great here. I mean, like, he's a pessimist. He's got somewhat of a deep, dark side. He's insufferable and yet likable at the same time. Billy Crystal,
Oh yeah, he
I don't know how
frustrated
he
me at
does it,
certain
but he
points.
is fantastic in this movie. He's got many layers to his performance.
He frustrated me at certain points a lot.
You can tell when he cares. You can tell when he obviously doesn't care, and yet you're not so sure at the same time.
Yeah.
Because like it's very tricky. I think he pulls it off really well.
I think what annoyed me the most about him, I loved his character, but he did tick me off because it's like, I don't know how many years it was since he got divorced from Helen. Spoiler, not really. But it kept popping up, and I'm just like, dude, stop it. It's like you're trying to go out with somebody, or at least have a friend that's a girl, and then, you know, you keep bringing up your ex-wife. It's like, oh man.
Well, it's still troublesome for him. I mean, like he's trying to get over it, but he simply can't because like he's reminded of what I think they mentioned at one point. I miss the idea of her, in like the South dimensions. I miss the idea of like the idea of like having this relationship, having this committed relationship. It's
And
just
then he's
not
like,
there anymore.
no, I miss Oliver.
And then you just yeah, that's right. Some great lines here. Oh my God. Okay. Oh man!
If it's the
When
scene
it got
I think
to
you're,
the-
if it's
when
the
it got
thing I
to the
think
scene-
you're going to
the
say,
most famous scene in the movie. This is his first time seeing it. He laughed his ass off. He wouldn't stop laughing for like the following minute, I think. After the infamous line was said, "I'll have what she's having." You couldn't control yourself.
I kind of think the film felt a little dated.
Really?
And so, do you think it felt a little dated?
Not really. Not really. No,
Okay. For me, it just, I don't know. I think it
I
was
thought it
just
was-
the fact that it seems like all the characters wanted to get married. Which, if you talk to your friends now, I mean, sure, it's a romantic comedy, and that's kind of, you know, the general idea of a romantic comedy. There's romance involved, and people want to find love. But just, I don't know. It just kind of seems like, you know, because I have a bunch of friends, you know, it's like, they're not ready to settle down. They want to enjoy life and everything. Like there was that scene with Carrie Fisher, Meg Ryan, and her other friend. They're all at the table, and it's basically like, oh, you need a man. I'm gonna get you. Here's my little address book, and I'm gonna get you all these guys. How about this guy? No, we can't work. Okay, how about this guy? He's already married. Okay, how about this? No.
Okay, you're making it sound like a Pure Flix movie.
Yes.
It's not like that at
No.
all. That dialogue is too good for that sort of thing.
Yeah, it's anyway. It's just I just find that kind of funny, but it worked because of what kind of the theme was. It's like, can a man and a woman be friends platonically? It says yes for a little bit and then no at the end.
I guess you could sort of see that as a flaw. I mean, it's like pretty much like proving Billy Crystal, you know, right that men and women can't really become friends, even though like we have friends who are women. But I sort of let that slide because like I really wanted Harry and Sally to get together. I mean, they're great together.
Yeah, they had
When you
good
see the other
chemistry.
people that they date, you can tell like there's no other right.
There was
person
some tension.
for each of them.
Yeah, they were both jealous of
So-
the people that they were dating.
That used to bother me at first when I first saw this movie because it's like, well, I guess men and women can't become friends. Like, so I guess Harry and Sally get together at the end. But I don't see it as much of a flaw now. Well, I do see it as more of a flaw because it's not a perfect film. I think the final act where they're separated because like they're not sure like how they feel about each other anymore. But after they've had sex, sex scene gets in the way. I thought that was a little slow and it was a little predictable because like maybe it's because I've seen too many romantic comedies since this, but I could tell that they were going to get together. Not unlike Annie Hall, which we'll go into later.
I want to say I kind of believed that they wouldn't get together for a little bit, and it was because the third act was a little bit slower to pick up the pace. just because like that was such a big thing, and they just had to still work it out.
Yeah.
And I just thought that third act needed to be slow because of the sex.
Well, okay, I'll grant you that.
That's just me.
As for other flaws, one of the most important scenes in the movie comes later, where Sally finds out that her ex is getting married really soon. Sorry, really soon, and she has this like total breakdown. She's crying.
By the way, what a jerk! What
yeah.
a jerk for calling his ex to say, "Hey, by the way, I'm getting married."
Yeah.
What
but
point did he have to tell her that he was getting married?
You're interrupting me, man.
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I didn't think that scene really worked for me, mainly because I thought Meg Ryan's performance in that scene, like, she's great in like the rest of the movie. I thought in this particular scene, like when she was having her breakdown, it just felt a little off. It felt a little awkward. I didn't really believe it that much. And I felt that the director, Rob Reiner, had a little trouble balancing the comedy and the drama in this particular scene, even though it does a great job.
Because I was laughing at Meg Ryan crying because it looked silly.
I was laughing more at Billy Crystal's like reactions, but like I was trying to feel for Meg Ryan, but I couldn't.
Because she was just tossing Kleenexes.
I mean, it's a very emotional situation. It's rightfully so, but I couldn't really get into that.
Yeah, it was kind of. That was probably the more, quote, unrealistic part of the movie.
Yeah.
Because I'm like, yeah, that's a movie scenario that would probably never happen.
And I'm gonna be 40
in 8 years.
But it's there.
So yeah, I think I don't know what else to say about it. I mean, camera work was great.
Yeah, aside from those little nitpicks that I have, I thought this.
Yeah. I
think this is a really sharply written, very well acted romantic comedy.
Editing was great.
Yeah,
I liked that,
and I liked the side relationship between Carrie Fisher and Bruno Kirby, who plays Harry's friend. They wind up together, and they're not the friends. I hate it in romantic comedies, like where you have the friends who, like try to break up the central couple because they think that they're not right for each other.
Yeah.
No, they got their own things to worry about.
Yeah, they're
like
hey,
the wagon wheel coffee table. She wants it gone. He wants it to stay.
Yeah, and they're like, yeah, it was kind of funny that I think Harry and Sally went on a dinner date with these guys.
Yeah.
And they're best friends, and they were trying to hook them up with each other.
Yeah,
like Sally with
that way.
with Harry's best friend, and then Harry with Sally's best friend. Nope, the best friends
they just couldn't get along. Sally wasn't interested in what Jess had to say, and Harry. So what if if Billy Crystal and Carrie Fisher grew up in New Jersey? That's about it. That's the only thing they have in common.
Yeah, it's just kind of funny how that worked. Editing. Combined with comedy are essential, and
it knew when to cut away.
And that dinner or that lunch scene, that made me laugh my head off. That was some brilliant editing, excellent. I guess pauses between jokes and then the punchline, so that I could so that is just even funnier. And then they cut away to the next scene, which is perfect.
Yeah, and they pad it out for an extra 30 seconds of a song or a montage,
so that people could have time to laugh.
Right,
which was great because I needed that. But yeah, I think this was a great way to start the new year. I'm gonna give it a great high five.
Yeah, me too.
Not a perfect film.
No.
I feel that it's been a little dated, or for its time, but that doesn't mean it's not enjoyable. It is hilarious. I was laughing hysterically.
It's not one of my favorite Rob Reiner films. In fact, I actually have before Rob Reiner films that I would hold in my top 100, Stand By Me.
Princess Bride.
Yeah, The Princess Bride. This is Spinal Tap, and actually Misery, which is actually an Easter egg, in the movie that Billy Crystal was reading Misery, and that turned out to be Rob Reiner's next film.
Yeah, it's great, and this was a really fun movie. Don't think that this is real life, because it's not. It's a movie.
But
keep on dreaming.
Some of the themes and some of the topics of discussion they do.
It's always a fun discussion to have with someone of the opposite sex, and what their opinion is of it.
fact, I'm going to go home and talk to my roommate about it.
So
Yeah.
we'll see how it happens.
Yeah.
That's right. Well, that's all we got for today. Be sure
All
to
right.
like, comment, subscribe, share with your friends, like our Facebook page. I'm Brian,
I'm Tanner.
and we will see you
At the movies.